Wonderful Aries, welcome to your February 2020 reading. And guys, we are heading into Mercury retrograde season again, but very interesting energy around it. I was kind of meditating into the astrology earlier. There's a very different flavour to the Mercury retrograde energy, so I'll speak about that, and I may even do a bit of an astro energy update for the month of Feb. So guys, keep a watch out for that if that's something that interests you. First of all, we're going to be drawing the runes, guys. They are itching to come out of the bag. Welcome back to anyone who is already part of this amazing community. Guys, you are just absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for just your feedback, your comments, your support of me and your support of one another. Truly, you guys are inspirational. Thank you for subscribing as well. That really does help to maintain the channel. Anyone who's new to this absolutely amazing community, the AZ of Emotional Health YouTube community, we are a community of spiritual warriors. I'm Jenny Florence. I post readings weekly and monthly, and I also put a lot of free resources into the world. Everything that you need to know is in the information box below. I don't want to talk about it forever, but you can check out stuff there. I offer a free private reading to one of my subscribers, and also I will be drawing a name from the hat to win a pack of cards. I will speak about those a little bit later on, probably towards the end, and then if you just want to do the reading and you don't want to hear too much about that, you can kind of check it out if you want to or not. So guys, let's draw runes, because they are really itching to come out of the bag. Oh gosh, yes they are. There's a real energy, a real electric energy in them today. Okay, initiation, our first rune, the rune of initiation. This is like a rite of passage. You're moving through something. We have the rune of ice, of standstill. It would suggest that maybe things aren't going to move forwards quite as quickly as you want them to. But I want to say, tuning into the Mercury retrograde energy, there's going to be purpose to this, and that's actually what I'm hearing. Yes, absolutely. We have the Rune of Joy. The Rune of Joy, wonderful energy. Out of darkness into light, carried across the gap by the wings of heaven. I mean, the energy of moving through something. This is a big transformation. This is a big rite of passage. Something is shifting energetically for you guys. It will apply to you in different ways, but the energy is the energy. Something is going to be shifting. Let's connect into more runes. Okay. Oh, yes. We have the spiritual warrior. We have the rune of separation in reverse. It's interesting. We have the rune of strength. I'm hearing this way up. The rune of defense as well. Wow, guys, this is really interesting. So, the rune of the spiritual warrior, well, I'll leave the runes here. We may be called to draw more. Sometimes, honestly, they just chunter away in the middle of the reading, and we're called to draw more. The rune of initiation suggests a real period, a pivotal moment in which something is taking place that's transformative. Now, given the energy, the astrological energy, it may be that things don't move as quickly as you want them to, but there is purpose to this. You are being asked to, it's as though you're being asked to remove any resistances within you to change. And as you do so, as you acknowledge or identify any specific resistance, it's almost as though that brings on the thaw. The ice will melt, and most definitely it will melt. The Rune of Joy, renewed clarity, out of darkness into light. This is a magical energy here, and this is to do with your own journey as a spiritual warrior, your pathway, the pathway of the warrior. Interesting, because there's a lot of Mars energy, the masculine warrior planet energy, and also connecting in with the feminine warrior planet energy around, particularly in the full moon, which we have on the 9th of Feb. So as I said, I will probably do an astro energy update. But for you guys, in terms of the way that energy comes in for Aries, you could potentially gain a lot of traction as the month moves on. And if you are finding that there is a diversion or something isn't happening as quickly as you need it to, trust that there is purpose to it. You're being shown something, and that's actually what I'm hearing. Now, the rune of separation in reverse, very interesting. It means that maybe things... Firstly, let me connect in with the energy of the rune of separation to start with. You are letting go of something. You've outgrown something, basically. And this is this turning point, this rite of passage. You're moving into a new phase of life. It's like you're shedding a skin, like a snake sheds its skin. It has to discard that in order to emerge into its fullest, greatest new potential. The new version of you is emerging. When this is in the separation rune is in reverse, it may be that things are either, maybe they're slightly clinging to you. Actually, I am hearing there's maybe some energy clinging to you, something of the past, or somebody's energy. I think you might be quite in tune with other people, because the rune of initiation often also means we are highly attuned to the energy that's around us. When we go through pivotal periods of transition, we are often highly attuned to kind of downloads, universal downloads. Again, the astrology is very much bringing that in. And yeah, that's what I'm hearing. So you may actually find that you're quite a magnet for energy, and I would be suggesting that you make sure that you energetically cleanse on a regular basis. You're outgrowing something. And also, when we outgrow a situation, when we emerge into a new version of ourselves, it sometimes takes a little while for the people around us to adjust to the new. It's like adjusting to the new you, okay? But strength, the energy around you for transition, this is about terminations and new beginnings. So very pivotal moment in time. Just simply go with things. Allow yourselves to identify any blocks. When a snake sheds its skin, it doesn't always come off in one piece. Sometimes there are little bits that are left that have to kind of, you know, be rubbed off or allowed to kind of fall away. The rune of defense. This is, again, really interesting. You are developing an aversion to the resonance or the energetic resonance, the frequencies of things that no longer align with you. So kind of, again, you've outgrown some of the situations, some of the people, some of the connections you have. It doesn't mean you have to let go of them completely, but you have to realign yourself with who you truly are. And there's an adjustment period to go through. If there are things that you used to kind of, I don't know, slightly put up with, sweep under the carpet, I think your tolerance will become... It's not that you won't be tolerant anymore. And indeed, you know, you can look at any situation through the eyes of compassion. But you won't want to kind of hang out with that energy anymore. You've moved beyond it. You've moved above it. So, yeah, very interesting. I am actually hearing we're drawing another rune. I can't believe we've drawn so many. We don't always draw this many for these readings. That's the one. It's the rune of constraint. Yes, very, very interesting energy again. The rune of constraint again. Okay, so I'm hearing again a very clear message. I think that as you are evolving, emerging, entering a new phase of your of your lives, a new phase of your life, becoming a bigger, better version of you. There is going to be a little resistance from some of the people around you. I just need to voice that. It's not a negative. It's just that, as I said, it's a struggle. When we emerge and step up, you know, people around us, it's difficult for them. It's challenging if their lives are not also moving forwards. And, you know, actually what's important is that you maintain your own path, the pathway of the spiritual warrior. If you dim yourself down to make someone else feel better about themselves, you step down from being a role model for them. And this is a reading that's asking you to emerge and step up, but with awareness that actually there may be some resistance around you from situations, people who are, you know, you may be ready to emerge and let something go, but they may be reluctant to let you go. That's the kind of flavour here. But you're moving on. Very lovely energy. This is just radiating. The Rune of Joy, literally radiating. It's a fruit-bearing rune. Oop. This is just leaping around. Maybe that I put it in the wrong position and it was asking to be righted up the other way. It's interesting, I had no message with this that suggested that in either way, reverse or upright, it had any difference in its meaning. Let's draw from one of the tarot packs. I've been asked to do something a little bit different as well, so I'm just going to go with that. Normally I shuffle and the cards pop out, and if they do I will of course use them. But what I've been asked to do is actually to pick out the cards and then to lay them all out together. We'll be doing this with several packs. I'm going to do the same with several other packs, then we will literally lay them out. It's a different way of working. It's interesting. Oh no, these three have just come out, so we will be using those three. But it's interesting, I do this often in my sort of face-to-face readings. Oh, no, they are leaping out like nobody's business, so we are maybe not going to be doing that with this pack. We may be for a couple more yet. But it's a lovely way of just tuning in with the cards. Wow, guys, that's awesome. Okay. I think there's going to be some envy around you guys, actually, I need to say. You're moving forwards, you're setting forth. I can see that. This is a whole new phase of life for you. Just going to draw from, now the next pack is the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. What I would also just say, guys, if any of the cards or indeed the runes are speaking to you, there's a link in the information box below. I have a page on my website now with every pack of cards I use, so you'll be able to find them really easily if you're wanting to get them for yourselves. I obviously was very, very excited that these cards were being launched in January. We've had a problem, not with the cards, they're stunning, but with the booklet and the extra stuff that comes with it. So just in terms of quality, and I won't go ahead with anything until I know I'm completely happy with the quality of something. But I will still be giving away a pack from the first limited edition. I will draw the name out of a hat along with the free private reading. And but that whoever you are, so keep an eye out for the announcements. You're going to have to just wait until the cards go into production. It will probably be in February. I'm almost absolutely certain of that. It's just there was a hold up. So guys, let's just connect in. think that's all we're going to draw for now, although there may be more. So let's begin. I should just say for anyone who's new, runes we always read from right to left, cards from left to right. So first of all, the card of justice, but in reverse, followed by the Fool, followed by the Six of Cups, the Four of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. Very interesting. You are having to weigh something up. I think you've already started weighing it up. This is not new to you. Okay, you're already in that space of transition. You've moved beyond this. This was almost like a last month's energy, a last month's card. You're already in the initiation stage. You're ready to kind of like step into the unknown, launch yourself forwards. But yeah, not everybody is at ease with your move forwards. I think there's going to be a bit of envy, okay? So again, really interesting. I'm hearing that we're moving, these cards are coming in this direction. Let me move them out so they're spaced. Make sure we have room for everything and it's all still in view of the camera. I think we are, very much so still. Yeah, absolutely, good, good, good. You see, the card of cruelty is interesting. Now, sometimes the card of cruelty, it would suggest that, I mean, on occasions, it can mean that someone is cruel to you. More often than not, it's the way in which we hold ourselves back. It's that inner critic who becomes an inner bully. But I think you're working through that. I think you've come through it. I'm hearing that quite clearly. The difficulty here is that you're moving forwards, you're transforming. And indeed, I also think you may well, there's new relationship around you, there's new ventures. It's kind of like almost on every level of life. Now, for some of you, there may be a greater emphasis in relationship, for some in work. But I would say the energy is pretty much around you for new beginnings, new ventures, a new chapter of life. Irrespective, it's almost like across the board, which is unusual. Sometimes it can just be one area or another, but it feels as though you are revitalized, you've re-energized from the inside out. Interestingly enough, I'm not sure that this card of cruelty is to do with the inner critic. If it is, it's because somebody is activating it in you. And it isn't that people are necessarily even being directly cruel to you, although they may be. It's more as though, I feel as though you are attracting envy. You know, you are stepping up, you are emerging. You're in this position where you're able to reflect and look back. There's a nostalgia here. The Six of Cups is, there's a weighing up, there's a reckoning, there's an evaluation, but I think that's already happened. But other people are kind of, I don't say they're putting a spanner in the works, but they are envious of you. You're moving forwards. You're able to evaluate and look back. You're ready for a new voyage. It's as though you have completed a stage and you are moving through to the next stage. Again, you've outgrown something to which you had a strong emotional attachment to something. It could be a situation, it could be a person, sometimes even real estate, a house. It could be a behavior pattern or a thinking pattern or an attitude or a cultural attitude that you used to comply with. But you're leaving that behind, you've outgrown it, and I think you see that with clarity. However, as I said, I think this is causing a little bit of ruption around you in the people around you. So there's kind of a bit of resistance. And that's where the sort of card of cruelty is coming into play. I think there's an element of criticism. There's a desire to maneuver you into maybe slowing you down a little. What you're needing to do as well is to acknowledge and recognize within you, if somebody presses your button and you instinctively respond by dimming yourself down or by questioning whether what you're doing is right or not, just evaluate. Evaluate, you are moving beyond where you are. The Two of Pentacles is new beginnings. It's like an apprenticeship. You're moving into a new phase of life, a new way of being within yourself. And this is part of your own pathway. You are developing an aversion to this stuff. It doesn't work for you anymore. You're not interested in colluding with this, I don't think, anymore. You know, I don't think this is your energy. It's somehow an energy that's around you. If it's coming from within, it's because someone presses your buttons. It feels a little restricting. But again, let's just connect in with that Mercury retrograde energy. So full moon Leo, 9th of Feb. Mercury goes into retrograde on the 17th of Feb. So just after the full moon, we're coming into the Mercury retrograde shadow. But yes, for sure, back up everything, allow longer for your journeys. But there's a really lovely energy around the Mercury retrograde this year, this month. There's something quite rich about it. You know, last time, the last Mercury retrograde, there seemed to be quite a lot of jolts, a lot of kind of sudden disruptions. This feels as though there are disruptions, I'm sure there will be, but there's a level of illumination that's coming. And when I say a richness, it's almost as though we are being invited to... It's like we're invited to slow down and treasure every moment. It's like really smelling the roses. If there's a diversion or a hold-up, not only recognizing that there is purpose to it, that the universe is slowing you down and maybe taking you on a diversion because there's something you need to see, but literally if you're in traffic, you know, pull over, park, and go have a coffee. It's kind of like, it's like you actually have it's almost like an invitation to enjoy the hold-ups rather than just bearing with them or even just gaining understanding about them and holding that positive perspective. It's kind of like there's an invitation to embrace something around this energy a little bit more. So I think there is some resistance around you. Prince of Cups, wonderful. The energy of transformation, the energy of emotional freedom. This is a card that invites you to understand your emotions as a source of empowerment. So a bit like that Mercury retrograde energy. Instead of seeing a delay and a hold-up as a major crisis, you know, send a text, say you're delayed, and then actually take some time to treasure that moment. See what is around, what's available, what are you being shown, what new openings are being shown for you. Ace of Cups, new beginnings, particularly new relationships. I think for some of you there is a new relationship on the cards. Or maybe a new phase of relationship. You're leaving something behind, you're shedding a skin. You cannot function in the way that you used to function. You have outgrown a way of being. That it used to work for you, but it no longer serves you. I feel as though your passions are ignited again here. There is, as I said, a pivotal moment of change, a period of initiation and growth. February is marking this for you. Ace of Cups, particularly new relationships, sometimes an indication of letting go of a relationship in order to pave the way for new, but certainly new relationships, new phases in relationship. The card of truce. Don't deny yourself your emotions. Acknowledge them and use them to empower you. So again, if somebody is resistant to the changes in you, but you know they are part of your own pathway, listen to your emotions because you can channel that energy. Emotion is like energy in motion. You can channel that energy. You can use it as a source of empowerment. The Queen of Wands, she is the ultimate card of transformation, but this is successful transformation with knowledge and awareness. She integrates her experiences into awareness. The story with this card, she used to have black hair and walk with a black panther. She experienced a phenomenal transformation. She moved, again, it's like the Rune of Joy, a fruit-bearing rune. The period of travail is over. She emerged into the light. She had blonde hair and walked with a lion, or indeed a lioness. It's a very feminine energy here. Again, the empowerment of emotions. She chooses to wear red hair and to walk with a leopard, the black spots reminding her of where she's come from, so that she is fully available to the learning from her experiences. A true card of transformation in the sense of the pathway of a spiritual warrior, the soul's journey of evolution within our human experience. The Prince of Wands, he has emotional freedom. To have these two together is very, very empowering. The Knight of Discs, guys, you've been through quite a lot, and I think the challenge and the resistance that you're meeting from some people around you as you emerge will feel a little bit wearing from time to time, but the energy is behind you to move forwards and to emerge. The Knight of Discs, it's a card of harvest, but we do have to remember that when we have invested a lot in the process of growth, we are often tired at that moment of harvest. You know, if you've tilled the soil, sown the seeds, nurtured the crops, when it finally comes to harvest time, we're already quite tired, but we have to find that extra surge of energy to bring in the rewards. So that's what this card is all about. Let's have a look at these. Have your voice. Is there something that you need to say? An inability to speak out can leave us with feelings of hurt and resentment, which then create a kind of internal energetic roadblock. Voice your feelings to yourself or write them down. It is time to release the past. Lovely, lovely energy, and this is connecting in. If you feel that those around you who are slightly resistant to your pathway of growth and emergence, if you feel that they are not in a space to hear you, you still need to have your voice. You need to acknowledge the way you feel, because that liberates you. It frees your emotions up so you can use that energy. Say yes. This is lovely. The answer to your question is yes. What are you waiting for? If there is any doubts, and the doubts I think will be coming in from maybe people who would like you to doubt a little bit. I don't mean it negatively, because sometimes people also don't want us to step forwards because they're worried that if we launch into something new it won't work out, and they don't want us to experience disappointment. I mean, sometimes they intentionally are setting out to be a little bit sabotaging, and sometimes we can sabotage ourselves. You know, that inner cruelty, the inner critic can cause us to procrastinate. But you know, actually a lot of times people sometimes slightly hold us back. It's like they're doing what I would call the wrong things for the right reasons. So, but you know, say yes. What are you waiting for? It's time to step up. Is that still in camera? Yes, it is. I can still keep them underneath these cards, because this is lovely, this energy of the Ace of Cups. Again, it's okay not to be okay. When we feel low or have challenging emotions, we often then feel bad about feeling bad. And I mean, I know what this means exactly. You know, if we're having a wobble, or we're having that moment of self-criticism, or somebody presses a button and we think, oh, I'm going backwards. No, you're not going backwards. You're just experiencing a powerful emotional response. If we then perceive that emotional response as a negative, we've just added another package of sort of heaviness to the existing emotional load. It's a bit like if we get anxious and then we worry about getting anxious. It's like we're anxious about being anxious, or we're fearful about being fearful, and it doubles the load. This card asks you to understand your difficult feelings as guidance. Absolutely. Learn to use your emotions as a form of energy, as a form of information. Your difficult feelings highlight that something needs to change, and that you are entitled to seek support in this if you need to. Opportunity. This card speaks of new opportunities. I have to say this reading speaks of new opportunities, although they may not necessarily come in the form that you were expecting. This is the Mercury retrograde energy. Be alert. Look beyond the obvious. Be prepared for opportunities disguised as loss. If a new pathway opens for you, trust that it is leading you in the direction that you are meant to go. This is really about allowing that journey to unfold, stepping into something of a new space, the initiation rune, removing any resistances, and I'm going to say not only any within you, but any that are triggered within you from the responses of other people to your growth. Outcome. Wonderful. This is so tuned into the Mercury retrograde energy. This card asks you not to be too attached to a specific outcome. In any new situation, the possibilities are open-ended. Anything might happen. Try not to prescribe a fixed outcome within your mind, as this may limit your availability to access the infinite scope of possibilities sent to guide you in the best possible direction. Aries, I feel that the Mercury retrograde energy is really, really working with you. It will be interesting. This is my first February reading. It will be interesting to see how that emerges. And I will, as I said, be doing, I think, a kind of an astro energy update, which I will post for February. So if you're interested in just the incoming energy of the way that the planets are collaborating, do keep a lookout for that. If you are subscribed, make sure you press the little bell icon as well, and that way you should get notifications of everything that I post, the weekly readings as well as any other kind of energy updates, and indeed announcements of the winners of the free private reading and the pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, which, as I said, I will be reserving a pack for somebody each month. In fact, each month during the year I've decided to do that for one of you guys, for one of the subscribers, a member of this community. I think we are just going to draw 2 more cards before we wrap up, and they will be astrology cards. Aries, I feel that the energy of the Mercury retrograde is very much working with you. So really, really trust in the unexpected. It's like it's a really interesting paradoxical energy. It's there in the runes. It's like take advantage, gain traction, move forwards, and yet simultaneously don't be in too much of a hurry. Treasure every second of the journey. Be alert and aware of opportunities and possibilities that may come sort of almost in disguise. Unexpected surprises, unexpected twists and turns that actually bring you exactly what you needed. 2 wonderful cards to conclude our reading. Aquarius, I know, and Pluto, transformation. This feels like a month of transformation, and yet at the same time, it's like this Rune of Joy. There is a lot of energy for a new beginning, a lot of energy for this process. As I said, this is a full energy of transformation for you, but you come with so much awareness. And everything that is emerging is about you emerging into a new way, a new place, a new aspect of your being, a new phase of your journey. Aries, this is a pretty pivotal month for you guys. It is actually awesome. Really, really trust trust life is what I'm really hearing. Really wonderful energy for you guys. Aries, so much love to you. I'm going to work out where to place these. I think just at the end here. And then I think we will wrap up. Guys, so much love to you. It's been an absolute joy to do this. There's such a richness, a wealth of energy here for you. So much love. Namaste.